I'm Gail and welcome back to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. It seems like forever since I've done a video. I took a break for the Christmas holidays and New Year's, and Happy New Year's to everybody. And I hope you have a prosperous, healthy New Year this year. Anyhow, we are going to make a low-carb spaghetti squash lasagna. Now I've had my spaghetti squash sitting since October downstairs in the porch in the cellar. And it just lasts a long time. So if you could, stock up on that kind of stuff, you could use that all winter long, and it's absolutely delicious. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make this spaghetti squash lasagna. So the first thing I've done, I've cut the spaghetti squash in half, and it is hard to cut. Now some people recommend you put it in the microwave for like 5 minutes to soften it up and make it easier to cut. Or I highly recommend having your husband cut it in half, because he has way more strength, I think, than what we do. Anyhow, the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to scoop out all the seeds on both of them. There we go, I got them both done. Now I'll set the stuff aside. And then I've got my Pyrex glass dish. And I put some water in the bottom. And we're just going to take the squash and turn it upside down in the baking dish. And we're going to put it in the oven at 400 for approximately an hour, between 40 and 60 minutes. So we'll get that done. And while we're doing that, we will start making the lasagna part of the recipe. While our spaghetti squash is baking in the oven, we are going to mix our stuffing for the lasagna part. So I've got a pound of ground chicken. Now you can use pork, beef, turkey. It's up to you what you want. I am using the ground chicken at this time, but definitely mix it up. Whatever you have in the freezer, fridge, fresh, whatever, use it in this recipe. It's very, very good. Have a teaspoon of parsley, teaspoon of garlic salt, and a half a teaspoon of salt. So once we've got the meat browned, we will start adding the other ingredients. And just work at it to make sure you have small pieces, because you don't want big chunks of ground beef, ground meat of any sort. Now we're going to add in 1 medium chopped onion and 8 ounces of mushrooms. And it's your choice of mushrooms, what you would like to use. Mine have been sitting in the fridge for a little bit, so they're starting to get a little brown, but they're still very good to be using. So we're going to cook this up till the onions and the mushrooms are softer. Now we're going to add a teaspoon of chili garlic sauce, just to give it a little bit of a kick. I love this stuff. It really gives extra to our recipes. And I'm going to put 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomato pesto in. And I'm using a no-name brand, but you can use any kind that you would like. There we go. We'll stir that in and give it some extra flavor. So I'm just going to let that simmer for a little bit. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of Parmesan. And then we're just going to set this aside until our spaghetti squash is cooked, and then we will put it all together. So I ended up baking the spaghetti squash for approximately 45 minutes. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen it up a little bit along the sides. Just take your fork and loosen it up somewhat on both of them. And then we're just going to start adding our ingredients. So one thing that I am using is, like, I had a vegetable tray for Christmas or for New Year's, and I had a lot of leftovers. So I'm taking my cherry tomatoes, and I have a half a cup. So I'm going to put cherry tomatoes in the bottom of each one. So a quarter of a cup in each one. Then I'm going to scoop in some of our meat sauce. It smells delicious. And this is going to be heaping. We're going to fill it right up. And then I'm going to take and put in some yellow peppers. And I have a third of a cup, so I'm just going to layer some yellow peppers. You don't have to use yellow. You can use the red, the green. It's up to you. Or you don't even have to put any in if you don't want. So we're just going to layer everything. Now I've got, I had a cheese tray, so I am going to just use my leftovers. Normally I would use mozzarella cheese or a different kind of cheese, but cheddar cheese is delicious on this also. So I'm going to add my cheese. This is absolutely delicious, and you definitely will have leftovers if you were serving a half for one person. I'm sure you will. So now we're going to add a little bit more of our meat sauce on top. And I have extra meat sauce because I just don't have enough room unless I really try and stuff it in here. I don't have a lot left over, but this is a whole meal in itself. I think you're really going to enjoy this. So I've shredded some of my cheese that I could sprinkle on top. And then we're going to put it back in the oven at 400 for approximately 20-25 minutes. So we have a half a cup of tomatoes, cherry tomatoes that I had left over from my veggie tray. We're going to put this on top. And that's it. That is our delicious meal for tonight. So we're going to put it in the oven again, 400 for 20 to 25 minutes, just to heat everything up. So here is our low-carb spaghetti squash lasagna. It's absolutely delicious. So you get quite a bit in a half, so I'll cut this in half and I'll be sharing it. It's just absolutely delicious. Just scrape the spaghetti off the top, off the squash, off the sides, and add it to the center, and it's wonderful. Anyway, go to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Try this low-carb recipe and try my other ones. And Happy New Year's, everybody, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year to share recipes with you. So you take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.